Trump's order on abortion policy. What does it mean? Well, it means nothing for the United States at this point. It's actually about stuff outside the country. Saturday, over 5 million people marched for women's rights. Monday, room full of rich white guys cut off family planning for millions of poor women globally. They didn't cut off family planning for millions of poor women globally. They cut off funding for family planning of millions of poor women globally because the whole world is not America's responsibility financially. I would hope to see that their governments improve in this and have more equality in their systems in the future. I wish my uterus shot bullets so the government wouldn't regulate it. What is with this whole uterus and bullets comparison thing? I mean, there's more legal regulations on guns right now. When sleeping women wake, mountains move. I think it would sound better if it said, they move mountains. Wait, I don't remember any mountains moving. I know this is supposed to be like metaphorical and everything, but come on. A man in a room full of women is ecstatic. A woman in a room full of men is terrified. This blew my mind. This doesn't actually say what this woman is terrified of, but in general, I'd like to know why she's terrified. I would assume that this is a point where a feminist might offer the argument of, rape culture. But based on that logic, I would point out that men don't go outside terrified 24/7, and they are more likely to be the victim of violent crimes. Also, this popular I need feminism kind of title or hashtag that goes around, how about not needing anything? Be independent. Stop needing things. Trying to explain the patriarchy to men feels like telling someone who has never heard of bones that there is a skeleton inside of their body. The difference here is that bones actually exist. A lot of modern feminists utilize equal rights, preaching equality, to justify terrible actions against the opposite gender, such as calling people names, causing them to lose their jobs, accusing them of crimes they did not commit, amongst many other things. Here's an example of how feminists think it's okay to call someone all of these things even if they aren't true, demonizing a human being, possibly ruining their life if they didn't have the funds that Donald Trump had based on accusations and asserting them as fact. Republicans are preparing to take health insurance from 8.4 million children. If that doesn't enrage you, imagine it were their guns. Again with the guns thing. They have more regulations. This one I like. Let's get rid of this idea that a man helps with the household duty, because that only reinforces the idea that it's a woman's born responsibility. You are not helping, you are doing your share of maintaining your home and children. This one I actually like. It's funny, it's entertaining, it's accurate, and it's to the point of equality. Not any divisiveness going on here. I like that. Food. Fun game. Next time a man starts yelling at you, cut him off and tell him that you just can't talk to him when he's being so emotional. Bonus points if you tell him you think it's cute when they get so angry. Here we see an example of new wave feminism, because even if this particular argument and there's yelling going on, we can dismiss anything by just cutting you off and acting as if you're mansplaining. Now, any legitimate issue that has come up to a point of yelling is dismissed by default. Now the problem's not even solved. I mean, yelling doesn't solve all problems, but if it's gotten to a point and there is a legitimate issue to be heard, you're not even going to hear it because let's just cut him off. Are women actually so delicate that they cannot be yelled at? Think about the implications that this teaches young girls. Oh, if he's being loud or yelling at you, cut him off. Totally don't hear what he's saying. Don't deal with the issues. Also, mock him for it because that's the mature thing to do as a mature, independent woman. Extra credit. Tell them to calm down and ask if he's on his period. Sit back and watch him implode. This is just a mockery post. Calm down and ask if he's on his period. Watch him implode. I mean, you kick me, I kick you back. Nobody acts like a freaking adult anymore. So here we have another example of modern feminism. You have no sense of leadership. Well, I think that depends on no, that wasn't a question. Because she can interrupt him and it doesn't matter what he has to say because he's a man. How is this any different than mansplaining? As Barron calls it, it's confessing. I'm going to interrupt you because what you say doesn't matter. The rise of women does not mean the fall of men. Now, I would agree with this. Equality, of course. This is about equality. Or it should be. Unfortunately, for most of this page and its contents and most of its followers, they don't believe this way. The rise of women does not mean the fall of men. It simply means we want them where we want them. And I say we because I am biologically a woman and therefore fall into this category. And this is why I take on these issues, because guess what? Being a human being is more important than what's between your legs.